This report is brought to you by Cerule, makers of a new category of plant-based products scientifically proven to naturally increase the number of adult stem cells in circulation. This offers a variety of benefits to reduce the effects of human aging. I have a nagging tennis injury, a rotator cuff shoulder problem. Surgery is pretty iffy, so I've been a long-time user of glucosamine products. They don't help much, but that has been my only alternative. So I gave it a try. The rep told me that it would usually take several months before any noticeable difference would occur. First week, nothing. Second week, maybe a little better. But then by the third week, all of a sudden I realized it was a lot better. All I can say is Stem Enhance has worked for us, and non-invasively. Yes, I could have paid $5,000 to have a stem cell injection into my shoulder, but it wears off. Why not stimulate the body's natural ability to generate the stem cells itself, which then travel naturally wherever they are needed for a fraction of the cost? One visit to a doctor can cost more than a month's supply of this product. There's a lot of science behind this. I wouldn't be advertising it otherwise. This works. Check out their website at billstill.cerule.com. There's also a 30-day money-back guarantee on a single bottle purchase, so you can try it risk-free.
Good evening. I'm still reporting on the coup. Mike Pence, former vice president under President Trump, finally announced yesterday that he is withdrawing from his presidential nomination bid after not qualifying for the third Republican candidates debate. Earlier today, Pence told the Republican Jewish Coalition's annual leadership summit in Las Vegas, "After traveling across the country over the past 6 months, it's become clear to me that this is not my time." Well, I have news for Mr. Pence. It is highly unlikely that he will ever again gain any elected office in the United States. Why? Because of what he did not only to this country but to the rest of the world by not allowing the numerous allegations of election interference to be investigated even for a few days starting on January 6, 2021. First of all, the election interference that beset Republicans on Election Day in November 2020 was not the fault of Mike Pence. He was not responsible for the widespread effort that the party of Obama devised. However, he alone could have probably fixed it by allowing the cheats to be exposed on January 6, 2021. Therefore, it is not a stretch to blame him with partial responsibility for what Israel is enduring right now. He is partially responsible for what the Palestinian people are enduring right now. He is partially responsible for the slaughter of tens of thousands of Ukrainians and Russians in that conflict. Pence was the one Republican who could have allowed initial investigations of possible election fraud to be conducted by the individual state legislatures while the wound was open instead of now, after everything has been tidied up or covered up to the greatest possible extent. Pence likes to tell audiences that he could not have changed the outcome of election 2020. That's absolutely true. But no one was asking him to do that. As Pence told it at the annual Gridiron Club dinner in Washington, President Trump was wrong. I had no right to overturn the election, and I know that history will hold Donald Trump accountable. Accountable for what? Blaming it on Pence? Well, Pence's version of what transpired on the floor of Congress on January 6th is not substantiated by the facts now in light. On several occasions, members objected to the certifications of one state or another, and Pence, following tradition, asked if at least one senator had signed the objection. All of the objections did have at least one senator's signature, but that did not seem to bother Mr. Pence. Therefore, the objections were supposed to be heard, but they were not heard. Those objections called for the House to take a 10-day pause to investigate the validity of the objections. That would have had the additional benefit of allowing a cooling-off period of the government's agent provocateurs, as well as the normal Trump supporters, who mostly would have gone home by then. Pence himself had pledged the day before, on January 5th, In Rock Springs Church in Milner, Georgia, we've all got our doubts about the last election. I share the concerns of millions of Americans about voting irregularities. Come this Wednesday, we'll have our day in Congress. We'll hear the evidence. Every objection will be heard. I included video of Pence actually saying this at the January 5th event in a previous report. However, it apparently has disappeared from the internet since then. But the next day, January 6th, violence broke out, led by agent provocateurs employed by the FBI and other federal agencies, as well as paid thugs of Antifa. Consequently, although signed objections were submitted by the representatives of several states, all were denied a hearing, in direct contravention of what Pence had pledged 12 hours earlier. So the real question at hand is, what happened to Pence in that ensuing 12-hour period? As a result, Joe Biden took up residence in the White House and millions of Trump voters were disenfranchised. But that's not all. The worst is yet to come, at least for the United States. Suddenly, anti-Semitism has become fashionable, in vogue, as university students race each other to jump on the leading edge of the latest trendy protest, pro-Hamas, anti-Israel. Let's hope these do not turn up at polling stations discouraging the expected gigantic Trump vote in 2024. Had it not been for Mike Pence's dubious interpretation of the U.S. Constitution and refusal to follow congressional tradition regarding members raising objections, Trump would likely have been returned to the presidency. And millions of Middle Easterners, as well as thousands of Chinese men of military age who are currently flooding across the open southern border, can thank Mike the traitor for their new lifestyle. I'm still reporting from just outside the citadel of world freedom. Good day.